Hello, this is Dad.
And this is Sybil, and this is Tabodas. So today...
We're looking to look at some of the other tales from 1001 Arabian Nights. And for this, we're going to do something a little bit different in the interest of keeping things tight and as close to 10 minutes as we can. We are going to have 60 seconds each to describe 3 tales that we've picked. We'll set aside a little bit of time in between for riffing, but for those 60 seconds, we would need to be intensely focused.
So we can't chat to each other during it.
No. We'll save any tangents for outside of our 60 seconds, because there's some things that I want to say about some of these stories for sure.
Right, so his dad's first story, the birds and beasts and the carpenter. 60 seconds starting now.
Okay, a peacock and a peahen are very careful and they only leave their tree at night, but they meet a scared duck who's frightened of men because they met a lion who was tricked into a box by a carpenter, and then the carpenter burned the box, and a ship turns up on the island that they're on when the duck's telling the story. The peacock and the peahen, they fly up to the tree, but the duck is scared and freezes and gets captured with the rest of its duck flock, assumingly turned into crispy duck. The peacock reckons this is because it didn't praise God, but this wasn't previously mentioned, so I feel this is a little harsh on the duck. Stop my timer. I've done
that's half a minute.
28 seconds.
And I've got a really short one coming up, so that's probably gonna take me 10 seconds.
So I've got some things to say here. I feel like the duck is scared of men, which is fair enough because ducks are quite rightly.
I mean, when we get Chinese, there's duck.
I do like
wraps,
duck is delicious. There are a lot of different cultures that like to eat duck. It's a lovely time. Also, the peacock and the peahen are a bit judgy at the end. They're like, oh, I reckon it's because it didn't praise God. That's why it got captured by men. Not, it's a duck and it got scared. Also, I'm not really sure. So the duck comes across a lion who's escaped a carpenter after being trapped in a box and the box set on fire. I don't really know what the carpenter was hoping to achieve there.
Maybe
Just cruelty. I don't understand how that falls under
lion.
under a carpenter's remit. Okay, next.
No. This
next
is
with
good.
The timer, and we're just gonna.
This is the really short one.
Okay, so we'll see. I've set the record there for 28 seconds for my first tale. So, starting in 3. This is the Hermits. 3, 2, 1.
So there's a hermit on a mountain who was taught 2 pigeons say praise to be Allah. On another mountain, for some reason, there's another man who is a shepherd, and Allah tempts him with an angel when he gets ill. So the hermit goes and scares his animal away, and then feels guilty. So they looked after the child after the shepherd. The end.
That was 21 seconds. So I've got questions here. It's a lovely touch that he's managed to teach his pigeons to talk.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one phrase.
I know a word.
We do know. If we go back to our Harapalb episode, we mentioned my Romanian wife. So one of the few words in Romanian that I do remember is
Porumbel.
Porumbel, which means pigeon, or bufnița, which means owl. So can help you out if you see 2 very particular birds.
Yeah, so the next one for Dad is the man who stole the dish of gold wherein the dog ate.
So the dog's golden food bowl.
Why? It's gold.
It's gold. You're about to find out though. I think it's a bit of an unfair title. Are you ready on the timer?
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
A poor man goes to an auction at a rich man's house for some reason. He's a poor man. He's not going to be able to afford anything. The rich man brings out 3 dogs who eat from a golden dog bowl. The poor man's starving, but the dogs let him eat from and then take the bowl. So the dogs let him. The dogs are like, hey, you look hungry. Have some from our bowl. Hey, take our bowl as well. The poor man becomes rich because now he's got a golden bowl. He then goes back to thank the man who he stole the dog bowl from. But it turns out he's poor now and he doesn't believe that the previously poor man... because why would the dogs let him eat from the bowl? Because they're just dogs. 32 seconds, I'm slacking. I'm getting worse.
Yeah.
So
I guess it is longer, I think.
A little bit, yeah. So the dogs let him The dogs let him eat the food, and then they're like, "Hey, take our dog bowl." That, while that is their dog bowl, it's like you didn't pay for it, dogs. I don't feel like it's yours to give away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, technically it's yours, but you're not the earning person in this household. Also, when he goes back to the rich guy that he stole from's house, it turns out that the rich man's poor now, and the previously rich man's also like, whatever, I don't believe you, basically. So next with the adventures of Mercury Alley of Cairo, which I really enjoyed the title of. That was kind of the reason that I did it. Are you ready? So in 3, 2, 1, go.
So Ali from Cairo hears of a rogue in Baghdad who is generous and goes to meet him. Just casually defeating a lion all the way. So when he gets back to Baghdad, where Delilah, I think, the crafty steals his clothes, but he gets them back with 40 carrier pigeons somehow. He has to marry Delilah's daughter, Zainab, because he likes that she's clever. To do this, Ali has to steal a magic robe from a sorcerer in an invisible castle. The sorcerer turns him into styling a donkey, a bear, and a dog, but eventually is defeated or marries Zainab, the clever lady.
Oh, that was quite
bad.
cool. No, well, I mean, you're still well under the 60 seconds. That was 42 seconds there. I like the fact that he wants to marry Zainab because he thinks she's clever. That feels like quite a nice message.
Yes, finally.
Although this is after Zainab's mum has stolen his clothes and he's then got them back. I found 2 versions of this story, and in both of them it just said a plot including 40 carrier pigeons. So whoever wrote the story obviously didn't take the time to think up how the carrier pigeons were involved. But I have a lot of respect for that one.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the last one for Dad is Julnar the Seaborn and her son King Basim of Persia. Right. So 3, 2, 1, start.
Badir is the king of Persia and his mum is Julnar. Julnar and her brother want Badir to marry Juraha, but her dad says no way, and so Badir's uncle invades their land. Juraha ends up running away to the island where Badir lives, and she pretends to fall in love, but turns him into a bird and then says to her son, leave him on Thirsty Island. He gets captured, but then turned into a human, but then gets shipwrecked and ends up on an island full of donkeys and one old grocer named Abdullah. The island is ruled by a sorceress queen who tries to turn Badir into a donkey, and then he does turn her into a donkey and tries to sell her to her own mother, but then he gets turned into a bird and put in a cage. Abdullah the grocer sends a message to Badir's mum, Julnar, who invades the island. In the end, Juraha decides she will marry Badir. Stop the darn timer. I was very annoyed when I read this story. I love all of it. There's an island full of donkeys and one old grocer called Abdullah. How's he making a living? You can't sell groceries to donkeys. They're just donkeys.
Yeah, they don't have any money.
Is he selling it to the one sorceress queen that lives on the island? But that's not a sustainable business model. I should love this story. But in the end, Juraha, who and her dad, who were initially like, no way, Badir's not marrying me, they go, oh yeah, actually it's fine. Guess he can marry me. So all of that hoo-ha in the middle, where he gets turned into a bird about 50 times, just didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, this is probably my longest one.
It's your longest one. Can we get there within the 60 seconds?
I don't know. So the last one is called the Ebony Horse.
And we're starting in 3, 2, 1.
So a man called King Sabuki gets 3 presents, a wooden trumpet that kills anyone who takes over, a peacock who cries into a silver ball, and an ebony horse that can take its ride anywhere. He tries to get his daughters to the wise men, but they don't want to be married to ugly old men. Their brother goes on the horse, which takes him to the sky because he can't get off it. Finally, he comes back down and finds a palace with a lovely princess, but his dad is really angry. The wise men who made the horse steals the princess and takes her back to Greece. Karma goes to get the horse and the princess and flies back. King Sput destroys the horse. The end.
Oh, nice. Okay. Once again, lots of things here. We introduced the trumpet that kills anyone who tries to take over the land, and the peacock The peacock who's for some reason
I
crying
mean,
in
a
a silver
trumpet
bowl.
could do that.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's a brass instrument.
Sybil does play trumpet, so yeah.
I'm on grade 3 so far.
Yeah, well, you've not killed anybody with it yet, so that's something. But the trumpet and the peacock get introduced, and then never again.
Yeah,
We just focus on the ebony horse, which look, it's a horse that can take its rider anywhere, which is absolutely fair.
but I quite like the peacock.
I do like the idea of the peacock, but it's crying all the time. Why is it sad?
Yeah,
But it's not just sad.
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
need to go into that.
yeah, let's unpack that peacock story. Okay, I liked that. That was a fun little jaunt through the 1001 Arabian Nights. Ratings for all the stories we've read so far, including the 2 that we did last week. Out of 5, go. Speed is the game here.
4.5 out of 5 and 0.5 lost because I don't remember them.
I'm going to say I got to talk about an island full of donkeys with one very ambitious grocer. So
I mean, you got to remember that Scheherezade lasted all those nights.
Yeah, look, if you're talking about islands of donkeys, then no wonder. So yeah, big 5 out of 5 for Scheherezade. Yeah. So we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.